think the thing that is like always like, because I've never asked you this, I'm just like, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
Yeah.
Because it seems like Japanese anime would want to get Japanese composers. So like, how did this all come around?
And I guess they have for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
So what's your like background with
No,
music
sure.
and life?
I mean,
how did you end up here?
Well, it's a very super random like kind of series of events that like I don't really understand how it happened. Happy it did, but I have no idea actually how it happened. But I guess like the chronological events is that I actually started working probably in the end of my teens. I started working with the Final Fantasy composer Nobuo Uematsu.
Nobuo Uematsu. Wow.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean,
Wait, how did that happen?
Okay, sorry. Let's go back.
Like, no one just like works with Nobuo Uematsu. You know?
Let's go
try
to conception.
Yeah.
Where was you?
Your local neighborhood friend, Nobuo Uematsu, you know?
I just saw a guy at the bar once, and I just ended up composing with the composer of Final Fantasy. What?
I thought you said conception. I was like, well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had always like wanted to do like video game music. I remember because I my first game console was a GameCube, and I played this game called Metroid Prime, which is still my favorite game of all
Amazing
time.
game.
Right.
Yeah, it is one of my favorites. And when I played that game, I was like, I want to do that. And so that's basically what happened. I was like, oh, I want to do that one.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I kind of just like started, pretending to write video game music. And Australia also had a bunch of like video game concerts that happened, including the Final Fantasy concerts.
Yeah.
But in a slightly different. Did you just burp?
No.
I thought I had this click thing. I was like,
It's a clicking thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll shut the fuck up.
Did you interrupt my story?
How
No.
fucking dare
I
make
fucked
a
up the story
noise?
a little bit. So I fucked up my memory. So yeah, Australia had all these kind of concerts going on. I met a conductor called Arnie Roth, who did some concerts called Play. And so I went over from Perth, Western Australia, from where I'm from. Went over to Sydney to do this, to kind of view this this concert, and he invited me to come say hello to him and also one of the composers there, who's the Silent Hill composer, Kira Yamaoka. So I met him.
Right.
That was really cool, and he was like super kind of. He was very, very generous with his time for like some eager, piece of shit 15-year-old.
Yeah,
So I
right,
really
right,
appreciate
right,
that even
right.
to this day. But because I met Arnie, when I saw that Uematsu-san was going to come to a concert in Seattle,
Yeah.
places, I was like, hey, so we might come over, like me and my dad might come over and come say hi.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, thank you for coming such a long way from Perth, which is like 36 hours in a plane.
Right.
Don't recommend that, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we spent like 36 hours going to Seattle, met Arnie, and then he was like, oh, just come to the dress rehearsal and come say hi as well to Uematsu and stuff. And
Wow.
So
Wait,
yeah,
So you're just going to these concerts and you just
we went
say
to that
hi?
one, yeah.
Right.
You just say hi.
Well, because we met at that previous one in Sydney,
Oh,
we were able
okay,
to like, kind
okay.
of come over and stuff. So,
Right.
yeah, it was very, very lucky.
Yeah, you make it sound very easy. Like,
Yeah.
like
So you met him initially and you just bumped into him initially? Or you like...
No. So like we had been invited to come say hi at this concert in Sydney, which then led to this concert in Seattle, where Uematsu-san was, where we met for the first time.
right.
And Australia, all the school all the school years are flipped because it's summer when it's
Right,
winter.
okay.
So
Because it's Australia.
Yeah,
Because Australia, everything's reversed. Yeah.
Of course, you got to flip it like,
So our
physically.
summer holiday is December.
Yeah.
And so that's when we have like the classic school like 2-3 month kind of break sort of
Right,
thing.
right,
Instead of
right,
July
right.
here.
Basically, like all of December and January is just off.
Yeah.
for school.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But that was obviously like New Year's and stuff and Christmas in Japan. So
Yeah.
for summer holiday we would go to winter in Japan.
Right.
End up they very graciously say hello. Yeah, you can come say hi and stuff. And
Yeah.
eventually that just led to a couple of it's like small. It's not the Final Fantasy game. I should be very clear about
Right,
that.
right,
But
right.
But you made some pretty insane connections from that. I bet.
Yeah, it's still pretty crazy to talk about, but it's
Yeah, you make it sound so easy. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
You just like had them on speed dial after
Yeah,
that?
no,
not quite, no.
I just went to a concert and then just went to another concert and then just,
No,
things happen and then, here I am.
Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm just happy it happened. I mean, I know I've been using that word a little bit today,
Yeah.
but it's like, I'm just super things have just, panned out.
Yeah.
Not so shit over.
Right.
Over the
I'm
last
trying to piece the whole thing in my head together, like
Me too.
how it all how it all comes together.
Yeah.
So you met him again at another concert. And
Yeah.
how did that translate into then working for them? Because surely that's a massive leap.
Well, we had, because of these Japanese trips that I would do over Australian summer, Japanese winter. Basically,
Right.
what happened is we were able to just kind of keep a connection, and then eventually, like, I kept on submitting some CDs and stuff like that.
wow.
I
Right.
was that guy. So,
Right.
but which in this case it worked out. But it's like you never think about it that way. You just hope you know best to just you just want to be involved in some way.
Yeah.
It feels nice.
So you just like kept submitting your work and I'm not like,
Well,
okay.
I mean, more like God bless them. They actually, listen to it.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
they
yeah,
had no
yeah,
obligation
right.
to do. I would not hold it against them to not do it, but they graciously kind of did, and eventually, I'm happy to say that I was able to be used to them. So that's
So you were like making music from like as early as like how old? Like
oh shit.
I assume very, very young, right? Like were you like classically trained and stuff? Or?
Yeah, so I played flute. I came from flute.
To see you playing flute was just such a funny image to me.
I can do the Anchorman solo.
Oh really?
Yeah, I can do it. I'm so like that's like,
Why didn't you bring your flute?
sorry, I left it in Melbourne. No, I actually like picked it up a little bit last year, like during the pandemic. So I was like, I'm fucking bored now. So try it again, and ended up using it a bit on the new Shield Hero and stuff. So I did some some jazz flute.
Wow.
Snuck that in. You snuck that in.
Hell yeah.
A cheeky jazz flute. A little cheeky jazz flute.
So you started with flute from like really young, and then you kind of just went on from there.
Yeah, flute playing, played Metro Prime, wanted to write music. Just like played on. I'm not sure if you know Finale.
Yeah,
did Finale for a little while, and like didn't understand what like working with actual like DAWs and stuff, which are digital audio
workstations.
So like Logic Pro and stuff like that. And Logic Pro is eventually what I moved to, and I still use it today. And it's all right.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming when you look at it. Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck?
I know nothing about audio. I'm that guy today. I'm like the Connor of this episode. I'm like, that's letters that you're saying right now.
Actually, I know more for once.
for once. Yeah.
Well, I hate to say it, but Connor was kind of right with the whole beeps and boops thing a little bit.
Oh, we're getting into that already?
What?
Yo.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I hate to say it, but I like the noise is the most accurate way to describe how I feel about music as well.
You're a literal musician. You do this for a living.
Oh my god. My life has been a lie.
Dude, like I remember when Connor first brought up the whole like beeps and boop shit. I was like, don't worry. Eventually, when we get Kevin, he'll be on my side.
Well, I won't lie. I like opened a bottle of gin and just started drinking after that phase. I was just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? At the same time, I was like, to be honest, like, yeah, maybe we'll go into like a little bit more detail about why the noise is nice, but the
noise is nice.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it. That's it. It's just like I like the things my ear is feeling. You know, I like hearing the noise. You know? It's just a soothing.
But we should explore why.
What?
Why?
Why though?
That's a level that he's never crossed before.
I don't know. I feel like it's the most primitive way of experiencing music, like the way that it was just meant. Like,
Is there any other way to experience music?
Soothing. Well, because everyone wants to add this super kind of like deep art meaning, and I'm like, noise is nice. You know, like it's just kind of like I don't listen to a piece of music and feel any emotion. I just take it in, and I'm like.
I mean, we all do, but we also it's that plus alpha for us, you know. Like, you know, it's not just the alpha, right? Like,
best maybe to describe it is like, okay, so noise is nice, but it's the noise is nice because like certain things that are working together make said nice noise.
Yeah.
This is why I brought you on today to explain this concept
Fucking go.
In the most monkey way possible,
not stupid way like I would explain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like it's just made up of like random kind of what's the word? I guess sort of categories. So there's like you got melody, you got harmony, you got rhythm and stuff like that. You got texture. Texture is really, really important. So texture is like in my
what is texture?
Texture is the sound quality. The quality of a sound.
That's like
you're sounding like an alien right now. I was like, what is this texture you humans speak of?
I don't normally talk to musicians, and normally when I hear someone talk about texture, it's with like food or like with things that you feel
like
with your hands or touch.
Like,
the same thing.
It's the exact same concept. It's like okay, okay. You know the I think it's Billie Jean. You know the
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The drums,
so
yeah.
The drum sound is super distinctive.
Yes.
Because it's because anyone can play that beat and anyone can play that like a drum like that.
Right.
But why does it sound? Why do you know that it's that fucking song straight away? Because the sound of the drum, the textural quality of the
beeps.
drum
Oh, that
is
makes
sense.
specific and
Yeah.
unique.
Right.
So that's the whole idea of texture. It's like texture, I think, is criminally, well, not criminally, and I can't pronounce that fucking word right now, but
Primitively.
yeah, primitively underrated. No, texture is like, I guess I would call it like kind of the secret ingredient. Even though it's not that secret, and you know,
It's the spice that you add to make it all come together.
it is all
Right,
the soul,
yeah.
right,
pepper.
right.
There's many spices.
Yeah.
Many,
So
many spices.
I see like we've inadvertently like separated the musicians on one side and like the apes on the other side.
It's got like a glass panel here. I think there's what I say. Don't fucking come near it.
Yeah. So,
That's how
okay.
you feel like we talk about anime.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Okay. So you started, doing, writing music from a young age. You met Nobuo Uematsu. So like, how did you then go from like that to, oh, now I'm writing music for Made in Abyss?
That's yeah.
Because like, I feel again, that's like not like one step process.
Yeah.
You know?
There were a couple of steps.
So okay. Number one, how did you learn Japanese? Because I assume you would need to learn Japanese to work in the
So
anime.
yeah,
Right,
I mean, obviously, I'm not this beautiful boy when it comes to that, but I feel like I do fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I do well, and so yeah, I learned Japanese in Australia. There's this thing called TAFE, which is sort of a
Like community college
yeah,
kind of thing.
it's like
Right.
community college, like sort of a non.
Not
It's
university.
like you could treat it as like a pre-college almost at some time.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
do like
yeah.
certificate level stuff. So it's
Okay,
not, it's like
okay.
bachelor certificate,
Right.
sort of underneath that.
Yeah.
So I did that because I went to school at the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts, WAPA, as it's called.
Yeah.
Whopper.
So I went to WAPA for 3 years doing composition there.
Yeah.
That was in Perth. But then at nighttime, so I'm trying to imagine me doing this now, like going to school during the day and like go to
School
like
during
school
the night.
during the night. And I was
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
do not have that energy. I do not have that energy at all anymore.
Congrats on being 30, by the way. Welcome to the club, Kevin. Welcome to the club.
I am lit tired. I can't even use the jet lag excuse anymore. But oh well. No, so I went to this TAFE school on like a Thursday and a wow. Let's try that again. Tuesday and a Thursday.
Yeah.
Tuesday and a Thursday, and on the middle day, the Wednesday, I would go with all the classmates that I was learning with, and we would go to this seedy fucking bar in Northbridge, which is like kind of like the I don't even know how to describe it. It's the
Just a seedy part of Perth.
it is the like club crazy like seedy blue sniffy sort of
makes
part
sense,
of
yeah.
Perth.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of things about Perth from every Australian I've met, and one pattern that I've seen from every Australian I met from Perth is that they no longer live in Perth anymore.
Yeah. I know 4 people, including you,
Yeah.
who were born and raised in Perth, who are no longer in Perth.
Yeah. So like I would say that if you've grown up there is like a certain like I want to call
Shout out to our fans in Perth.
look, there is a certain like jovial sort of jokey aspect to like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm from Perth, fucking what?" You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like once you leave, I think there is like a little bit of homesickness. Like I haven't been.
Okay.
Oh,
back
of course,
I
of
haven't been
course,
back
yeah.
since pandemic, but I fucking miss it so much.
Right,
I might
right.
be there for 2.5 weeks and be like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'm
Yeah, you've had your film.
bye, Felicia." But
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
until then, I'm pretty homesick.
Right.
But like, yeah, So we went to this bar in Northbridge because Perth is super, super popular with working holiday Japanese people.
Oh, really?
Super popular.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
Japanese people love coming to Perth, and that's great. And it is for what it's worth. Even though I just like kind of described like a suburb of Perth.
I'm just like,
some
yeah.
fucking.
I'm trying to wrap my head around
Mad
what
Max
the
shit.
reason that might be.
Joey, like I've never seen that facial expression on Joey where he tried to understand either his Japanese side or his Australian side, and he's just like, there is something that's gone wrong in my
Both,
culture here.
both my Australian and Japanese side were like, that sounds like a lie.
As far as I can remember, it's not. But
Right. I wonder why though.
I honestly, sun.
Oh,
Sun and
okay,
beaches.
yeah.
Sun and beaches.
Right.
Yeah,
Fair.
and wine. Lots of wine.
Fair.
That's
Yeah.
why they
Yeah.
don't come to the UK, huh? I
No.
already hear about Japanese people in London. that often.
No.
Not really.
Of course, like it's also very far away, but I guess so is Australia now that I think
Yeah,
about
Perth's
it.
pretty fucking far
Well,
away.
yeah, I
There's
mean, like
nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
So there
That's
is like
true.
a connection between Australia and Japan. I mean, there's quite a lot of sister cities and stuff.
Right,
and
right,
obviously it's
right.
like sort of the Australasia region. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah.
if that's triggering for y'all.
Yeah.
but no, the Australasia region is obviously I think there's a lot of, I mean, pre-COVID, of course, there was a lot of like kind of travel treaties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Working holiday visas were rampant.
Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we would go to this bar and all the working holiday people, because it was a shitty bar, but on a Wednesday night it would be international night. You
Right.
get $10 jugs, and which is like I think like
Bloody hell.
£7, like 8.5 American dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
And you just get fucking wasted with awesome like working holiday Japanese people, and because obviously when you're a bit toasted, your language confidence,
Yeah,
especially
right,
languages
of
you
course.
can't speak,
Of course.
somehow it just raises up. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
let's fucking konnichiwa. Yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you would almost have like the 2 formal training days on each side, and then
Yeah.
you'd have like
The real training day.
the toasted
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
and your brain would just like sponge it up. That's how it started, and then actually like since COVID, we've been doing a lot more like kind of business meetings and stuff on Zoom and stuff, and so like my Keigo has like gone way through the roof now, because that's
Right.
almost like how I almost exclusively speak like sort of with that I almost treat it as like a buffer. It almost feels like a buffer. If you're not
Right.
if you're not like not sure how to speak to someone, using the Keigo almost feels like I'm just like
Being safe.
yes,
Yeah.
safety net.
Right, right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
You don't know where your like relationship is.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
be
yeah.
polite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna avoid any like faux pas by
Yeah.
being overly polite.
Right.
I did notice that actually, because like a couple of months ago that we did the Made in Abyss event.
Yeah.
Like, because so I co-hosted like a Made in Abyss event for Made in Abyss 2, and obviously Kevin wasn't there like in person, but he was on like a Zoom call, because
Yeah.
there was like a segment where we were talking about the music
Yeah.
for the show, and obviously because it's a Japanese event, live streamed to a Japanese audience.
Yeah.
Kevin had to speak Japanese for the entire part.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard Kevin speak Japanese in a while, so I was like, oh, hopefully, he'll get through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, he's K-going the fuck up. Like, I was like, he's like way too polite in this entire thing. He's like talking to the fucking prime minister levels. I'm like, he's just talking about like the music.
It's like the problem is because I've almost like lost the middle ground now. So it's like
Right.
way
Right.
too casual or it's way too formal.
Right.
And I was like, just in because it's like something. Instead of saying like yes or something, I'd be just like yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
like,
that's just like you in a nutshell, right?